yet.
Yeah, you have to remember though, again, context is very important with those head-to-heads, is even though there's a lot of series for MOUZ, the last one was, of course, only yesterday. The one before that was like 7 months ago. We're talking about quite a long disparity in time, rather than saying, oh, they've played each other 4 times this year, which just isn't the case at all. It's actually been quite long since this rivalry continues on.
And again, it's just like another chapter to add to the storyline of the cause of these two teams, especially for MOUZ Sports, who've been making sort of roster shifts since that last series at the challenger stage of the major. So for them, like, it's a case of seeing whether or not these couple of roster changes that they've made in JDC and torzsi being brought into the roster is going to be enough of an impact to beat out Big in the match that matters the most. They lost in the upper bracket semis, but here in the lower bracket finals, it's last chance saloon for both teams. We jump into the pistol round of Ancient, our first map of the best of 3. Frozen draws first blood in said best of 3. Finding tabseN out on the side. Krimbo in a cave. Has the Julies in, but CSGO strikes against him. JDC forced to get that trade frag in a 4-on-3 scenario. Bomb can commit to side, but they are firing through those smokes, catching those players off, dishing out some damage. Not quite able to deny the plant, though. A 3-on-3 retake is on for Big, but Dexter overwhelmed by Keto. Quick headshot found. Now left a 2-man standing.
They're just trying to play in the smoke there, gets caught off, and now the USPs start to encroach on, put some pressure down into the side directly, out from the pillar position. Beamer swings out with his teammate. torzsi's there to try and see if he can cover up the crossfire, and Big are just wasting time from this point onwards. Further damage being done. torzsi down low, Tizian's going to fall. Keto's the last one left to try and see if anything will happen, and torzsi ends it off with a couple of kills. What a recovery that is from MOUZ Sports, because really, when Dexter falls, it feels like the advantage is shifted away.
Yeah, I kind of thought with that, the whole round was going to go the way of Big, but MOUZ Sports playing that post-plant to perfection in their particular positions as well, staying in harder cover right up until Big were forced out in the open. Of course, knowing that the pressure was on the Big side to actually commit towards the retake. I don't think they had a kit in play in that particular instance either. So all the time pressure against the German squad. And of course, the rifles coming in from MOUZ Sports in round 2. The pistols, Big will be stuck on here with their deagles in. Tizian trying to take it aggressive. And uses Deagle to greatest of effect. Tagged up and sprayed down by JDC, though. Again, he starts things off.
And just knowing that they smoked off that entrance out from elbow, but getting spammed through without support, it's going to be difficult to get a trade frag off. I saw tabseN in that last game against Entropic be very proficient in and around the cheater position, especially on the city side. And this time around, though, they do need a bit of a playmaker to recover it, because they are down by 1.
Maybe about to be down by 2 here with Keto being tagged to 19 HP. tabseN sneaking in from window though. Frozen seen him and gets that shot back. So indeed they will go down by 2. Not much the Big can really do to try and deny it at this stage. The pistols will try to look for some sort of exit frag on the way out of the round, but nothing major can come of this one. Should be a simple 2-0 for MOUZ Sports.
Now, you got to imagine, so CSGO just trying to see if he can get a back passive kill from that city spawn area. Overall, though, you've got to focus your attention on saving the weapons and bring him to the next round. Otherwise, they might not have much to work with at all.
There's one good kill for Krimbo at least. AK won't be able to get turned into a decent frag. torzsi immediately wraps around and grabs control of the situation. 2-0 start for MOUZ. And Big forced the issue in that previous round. So much like how things started off against Entropic, they're going to have no choice but to concede a few rounds back.
Yeah, got to imagine here for MOUZ Sports, getting a start off on T side would probably be in a position of, oh, we've seen that before. Yeah, we saw it in the last best of 3.
Yep.
Big on Ancient again. Slow starts in the first half. Definitely something that I would imagine in the hour or so break would have been addressed forward, right?
Possibly. I mean, we'll find out particularly. Of course, the Deagle to Krimbo is starting these off on the right foot with that quick dome duel onto Dexter. Moving him from play, but abandoning the B site thanks to that heavy mid stack from Big. So they'll have to turn that AK into a retaking weapon. Krimbo in particular with the Deagle catching Bemis off. So 5-on-3. Starting to turn up to the favour of Big here. Flash is coming over. Will stall the CTs for a time. One player out towards the window position, Frozen, struggling with tabseN, takes a dink for his trouble, but gets away with that pick back on the MAC-10. The AK is CSGO strikes against the AK of torzsi. JDC turns his AK into 2, and the backstab for Keto is unable to capitalise upon that frag. Krimbo on for the quadra, will be able to get that 3K, but 10 seconds to the defuse. He's going to try hold it down. Frozen's the case of acting further forward when he wants to. Does lose his life and might give up an AK to the favour of Krimbo, but it will be a 3rd round for MOUZ Sports.
Yeah, overall, though, that is a bit of a whiff, though. That could have been a round victory. You think about how quickly that backstab comes in. You get the kill, you get someone onto the bomb, that's it. You've just been able to get an eco still. Now, the positive note for Big is that they dropped everyone from MOUZ. While the round victory didn't quite come through, and maybe you gutted, maybe not, you're still doing economical damage, and you set yourself up for that instant reset come the 4th round. So MOUZ boards know we've really got to knuckle in, because both teams here don't have a lot of money in the reserve.
Guns in for both sides this time, so no weapon advantage. Could be the reset advantage for Big if they can take this round together. Resting on the loss bonus, at least have that little bonus to fall back upon. MOUZ, not the same sort of luxury, so an important round for them to take, considering the damage that they just had in the previous. Nade damage being done, JDC and Frozen tanking the early HP, but it's Keto with the opening kill towards JDC that kicks things off in the round.
And just getting a couple of flash assists too to fall back out of there, get back into safety, go in towards Candles and for that donut position. Wide swing coming out from Ramp, over aggressive from Krimbo, does actually deal with the AWP, so a decent start here on B.
And 2-man advantage for Big this time. tabseN trying to extend it to 3. Dexter outside of the cheater position. It's CSGO that peeks in against him and catches him with the kill. Frozen and BMS, not really much that they can do now as a result. Whittled down to just these last 2 players standing and still no casualties against Big.
Now, Frozen played really well against Copenhagen Flames only a few hours ago, putting up 52 kills and 24 deaths in that best of 3 up against the Danes, getting the 2-0. And knowing that Mirage got played there as well, and it was a map pick too for MOUZ, might give them some confidence for the rest of the series. Try and see if you can get anything more here in round 4. At least trying to prod their way around this ramp position. But even with the flash over the top, Bemis is now the last one left.
Now 1 on 5, the AK sitting in his hands. Probably best to save it into the next round here. MOUZ have not got any loss bonus flowing in. No spare cash in the bank accounts. Probably doesn't, I mean, double eco status, so maybe it does lead to a buyback around that.
Yeah, 100%.
Just to force the issue. Dex is going to be pretty well off here. And definitely more well off than the likes of Frozen and torzsi. So there will be a little bit of support around BMAS, but for all intents, this is a force.
You might expect a Galil to come through from Dexter. JDC might just be on a Deeg for the majority of them. Deegs and Tech-9s, get the armor out, the util to be very proficient too. And Big, no, they've got a decent challenge ahead of themselves coming round 5 that even though they're up against not the best of buyers in the world, there is still workability in a round like this. And it seems as if it's just going to be pistols for the majority of them.
Yeah, even Dexter now with the Tech-9 and full set of util. So that AK will be the main damage dealer here. MOUZ preemptive and the lack of real map control has allowed the smoke to go down for Big and suppress them outside of the B doors. Heading towards that lane angle. Frozen, the only man out of the gates for now. And trying to bait in further util thanks to his passiveness. CTs have no info. They're just throwing nades down there. Throwing bodies down there as well. Krimbo pressing further forward. BMS is on the other side to receive.
Yeah, it's a good setup though for Krimbo. He was very aggressive in the last time we saw them play Ancient only just before. That time around it gets a 1-for-1. Doesn't spot the bomb right towards the bottom. And they don't know about the AWP setup with CSGO either.
The aggression further forward from Big, denying that little bit extra info. Unable to maintain the man advantage that Krimbo had gained though. Aware that BMAS is of course in play with the AK that he saved. Noise being made by Dexter is going to give some info up to CSGO, but not a massive amount. They've probably got, given that this lane control's been taken, 40 seconds. MOUZ have got to act.
And they're desperate for an opening man advantage, whether it be out here at ramp or towards a cave position, and the AWP misses the first.
Yeah, flashed off angle. We've got a player in the back line. That's tabseN. Gets his kill in. Unable to focus on Dexter quite yet. It's CSGO that lands that kill against the bomb carrier. Now backup's going to rotate in from the front and back end sides of the CT forces. Frozen left alone as his teammates capitulate in the ramp control, and there's nothing he can do.
And that re-smoke down towards cave was everything in the round, because it just means that there's no real crunch, is there? There's the ramp players, and then there's Frozen stuck behind a smoke that can't do much at all in this situation. And just from MOUZ's POV too, you think about some of the recent events that we've seen from them, out in groups in Pro League, out in groups in IEM Katowice, only getting 2 wins at the RMR, not qualifying to the major. Being able to win this game on a rematch against Big and go to another LAN event would be such a positive note for the team.
I mean, for both teams that really want to go to Dallas, that's why they're here. And certainly in the case of MOUZ, with how young some of these guys are, with how only a handful of them have really got LAN experience. The torzsi and JDC especially, it'd be nice to see if they can go towards one of those S-tier events. If they can perform out there, then, well, all the merrier. Right, here is Dark Horses. Have no choice but to take this next round on the chin. It's just basic Glocks in, no investment. They didn't try to force the issue in the previous round, so expected.
I think we know too for MOUZ Sports that Ancient, I don't want to say is their bread and butter, but one of the stronger maps in the pool from them, 4-map winning streak. Try and see if they can get themselves going. And right here on the Glock round, just running through into elbow. There's nothing that you can really expect in terms of damage or full potential in a round like that. You're not working with anything at all, so you could focus up, go into the next rifle round, and try and see if they can keep the pressure on and at least hold their lead in the first half.
Even standing at 3-all. Big have allowed the pistol win conversions to go the way of MOUZ, but are coming back into their own. We've got 3 AKs to play with, so firepower is aplenty for the CT forces, and if they can maintain their firepower, this map could be a very different show. And you see behind the smokes at the elbow position, flashing his way forward and look up towards top mid, not ready for torzsi in at window. Kill found, spray through, sees that second player, can't quite find a kill shot onto Dexter, so we'll get forced back. Frozen finds a trade on CSGO and turns 180 into Krimbo as well.
Yeah, very gimmicky with the way that they were trying to get JDC out towards that elbow position, but my goodness, what a resurgence this has been at lane. Frozen finding so much impact, he's found 3!
Keto's on to try find 3 of his own. He gets 1 kill on BMAT. Refacing to a low HP Frozen. Dexter also out there. That nade. And Frozen evades it. Gets right back down to the bottom of the ramp. And escapes dodge for the time being. However, with that lurk out towards lane, they're aware it's probably going to be a B here. They've funneled them into that B site as a result. tabseN standing by, ready to receive, but not ready to take a kill now. Flashing for Keto. Molotov out into the open. Flashbang perfectly timed as well. And Dexter, and that final kill of the round, maintains the lead for MOUZ.
Now, what a sequence that was from Frozen. One of the OG players with the starting 5 that we've got in front of us. You could just see there how they tiptoe around. JDF falls out from the elbow position, then the capitalization comes through. Up to the top of window, back there towards ramp, another peak to come through, ends up with a triple, and then they just are able to get the ramp connection in towards B, allow torzsi to get a little bit more involved, and for Big, they are going to be on the buyback, but it's still a deficit for them.
Guns in for MOUZ. Big with similar responses. The AWP for CSGO will have that little extra sniper bonus. Able to utilize it as of right now. Positioned out towards that mid position. Watching in from the elbow angle. It's a couple of nades and engagements coming down towards that B site. Up in for CSGO, gets JDC. Kicks things off once again with a frag and a bit of an unexpectedly close angle from the AWP. And smokes off the angle as he falls back in temple.
Yeah, very clever there, just to hold in case there's a reface immediately. Put the smoke down, fall back. Play the man advantage. You're able to relocate, start allowing that AWP to have some more presence over towards the B side of the map. And for MOUZ Sports, yeah, they've still got a lot of utility. They haven't given a crazy amount of information away. Other than Big have taken mid and at least know there's no more presence, they don't know about A or outside of B right now.
Flashes in to enable them to get into lane, and that might be info gained for Krimbo. Hearing the footsteps, hearing the flash, seeing all the utility pour in as well. So as tabseN maybe on for the rotate, further mollies in as CSGO gets caught off. The AWP to drop. Krimbo sees the shadows of the T-side players. tabseN has now joined him on the crossfire, but doesn't last long. Both players dismantled for only 1 trade. Bomb committing to backside. 3v2 on the post plant.
Get that HE forward, a lot of damage being done. Double resmoke going down to that right-hand side. torzsi and Keto don't have much to work with here.
To have an angle in from long, though, the 2 smokes could have gone down in very different positions, and we could have been suppressing the CTs from all fronts. Instead, they look into sight, realize that nobody is out here. It's got to be cave, it's got to be ramp. Wallbang potentially, in fact, from the wood position, and Frozen just waits. Keto wraps that corner, gets that kill. 2v2. torzsi working in land against torzsi. Sees the man. Kill found. torzsi makes it a double. Now they've got to get on the bomb, the defuse kit. And I think torzsi is just enough time to hold this round together. So yes, it will be even standing for Big.
I'm very impressed there for Big. Rather than being in a position where they're making a lot of noise and trying to get into the site quickly, they slow it right down. They silently start walking forward. They get the pick off towards ramp. They tap the bomb. They draw the fights out into the open. You could see tziaN getting really involved. And I think what was very important for Big in that game against Entropic just before was obviously tziaN's performance map 1 and map 2. Yeah, he kind of fell off a little bit in map 3, but how he performed on Ancient is how he's performing now.
Force buys in for MOUZ Sports with that bomb plant bonus still being limited on the buy state here with the MAC-10 and the Galil. Next, they're trying to be that first MAC-10 entry in towards that B side, out towards ramp. Nades in from Keto. Minimal damage being done for the most part. That spray's a little bit better. Meanwhile, they're in the B bomb site rather. Krimbo and tabseN hold their kills. Krimbo even doubles up. BMAS with only one trade, so MOUZ again not quite having the best of luck with these site hits.
Just getting ripped apart when it comes to that one, and knowing now that Big have got complete side control, they've got the bomb plant that's being dropped too, it means for torzsi, what are your options? Money's low, have to try and hold on to the AWP, bring it forward into the next round. And for Big, yeah, they got off to a slow start of 0-3. They've actually been able to counteract really well on the City side, and this is something where, at least if we take comparisons to their Entropic game, it is slightly different. It looks a little bit more tail-ended with more success in this first half.
AWP of torzsi just to save. Big will have a lead, something they didn't have for a very long time over Entropic. I don't think they had it at all, in fact, over the course of that one Ancient map.
Majority of the series, to be fair.
Yeah, that's also true. So, feels good to be playing from the front foot for once, and with MOUZ's economy being where it is, you imagine that might extend a little bit further, especially if they can take this AWP down. You see Keto leaning in. Oh, entrance as Krimbo coming up from the B site as well. Timing's everything, and he's not been seeing that play at the right moment. We'll hear those footsteps, take that shot. Now he's a dead man, surely he must be. Keto to fall. torzsi just desperately looking on for the pick, and eventually peeks into the hands of Krimbo, who saves his teammate by getting the kill.
It doesn't quite get him after time, though. So, unfortunately there for Big, they probably know they have to act. They're in a stance where, because they're kind of peeking from both sides, you can't fall back. Otherwise, you potentially grant yourself double deaths or even triple deaths in the matter. So, just make sure that the kill comes through, whether it's before time or not. And it comes down to a stance where MOUZ aren't going to be able to bring much coming through into round 10. You've got a couple of upgraded deeks. That's about it, though.
Sprays up for tziaN, looking out to try and deal with these players immediately. Keto's going to combine with him, take JDC, and Dexter will fall to the HE. So it's a formality round as Big, just getting inserted immediately into this round, decimate as much as they can. Try to take this easy 6 to their board.
Yeah, get that re-smoke down towards the elbow position in case there's another pump or another way in which MOUZ Sports want to start applying some quick pressure in mid. And for Big, it's all about maintaining the confidence, because again, when you think back to the series that we saw only yesterday between the two, it was map 1 and map 3 being very one-sided. The only one that was really a positive for MOUZ Sports was the oddity of Overpass coming in with the veto.
No oddities in that side of things here and now. Obviously not going to be appearing in this series. torzsi. This gets one trade back in this Deagle basis, Deco basis. The tabseN there to shut him and Frozen down. Makes it again a 6th round for the Big side, as you would expect. Easy anti-eco, gun staying in. Buyback can be secured as well for MOUZ. The AWP is in for torzsi again.
Yeah, gotta wonder from MOUZ Sports when we're going to see something over towards A. We're not really seeing much at all. Anytime they go mid, they kind of take elbow, go up into lane, up into that window portion and start putting pressure down onto B. When it comes to Donut or A main, it's almost non-existent for MOUZ Sports in this first half.
Remember in that last series, Entropic exploited the A site so much because Big had very little action or presence on that site, so...
Very true.
The constant push forward from Krimbo and from tabseN could be a thorn in their side. For torzsi, though, he finds Krimbo first and foremost, protecting Dexter. And CSGO out towards the mid control, has that AWP out of position from where that window player is. It's the right call, though, because JDC feeds himself to the 4v4.
That's a risky maneuver to go for a peek like that when you know there could be an established crossfire coming through from window. And Dexter showing some more presence out from lane just by spamming through into the B site itself, which is fairly undefended right now. You've got tabseN alone. They're playing a 2-1-1 setup right now.
Starting the rotations to try and fix that here, but as tabseN falls before even tiziaN's in the back lanes of the site, it makes a 4v3 a little bit more awkward for MOUZ. Spread thin across the big side, but tiziaN's up position. Caught, quit, switching, and frozeN gets a pretty easy pick for it. CSGO's AWP now out towards long, looking at the try challenge against these players. Is blinded by a flash. Dexter with that kill, and MOUZ make that take look easy.
And they just got caught mispositioning themselves. You're in a position where tabseN's the only one on B. You can't overpeak. You can't overextend when you're the sole site anchor. And in that stance, as soon as that pick comes through, notice the change of momentum there for MOUZ. They go a little bit quicker. They go in for the site take. They go in for the crunch, both from cave and from the ramp position. And then even tiziaN, quick switching, gets caught off guard. And then from that point onwards, the round is pretty much over. A fifth gets reigned by mousesports on the T side, and for Keto, he's just trying to keep his hands on the AK.
Yeah, best thing for him right now. Hold that gun in over a donut. Hope to God that MOUZ don't round that corner and don't try and look for the hunt. They won't do so, though. The economy is not in the best of places for them themselves. So a lucky break for that last player of Big, and that's one extra rifle that can get bought up, or not need to get bought up, rather, by the rest of the buyback from Big. You can see they will invest in this round. The AWP even in for CSGO to boot.
We saw a fair amount of Ancient in the open qualifier too for mousesports. They had a 16-11 result against Sprout. They also had a 16-10 in the best of 3 against For the Win. And then, of course, their first game in the closed qualifier against Movistar Riders was also a 16-11 on Ancient.
So a lot of bases to work from in this respect. Shots ringing out from both AWPers. Try and work from the mid basis for CSGO at the very least. Nothing really allowed for MOUZ in this position. Forced back behind elbow, and not even going to be allowed control of the lane position. With that AWP now in window, be playing Overwatch ahead of the B doors. Smoke's coming down to make sure the MOUZ are fully suppressed. So back to this very passive T-side line.
Yeah, MOUZ aren't that keen on taking mid, in all honesty, from the elbow position. It's mainly up from window where they find more success with it. I saw the way that Entropic were just sending it mid quite a lot on the T side and just bringing a lot of acceleration forward. And this actually allows Big to get quite aggressive, especially with that AWP looking down lane to the door.
Shots out, flashes over, damage be done to frozeN. Initial engagement from Big. Off the back of that lane tank, MOUZ again apply the brakes, again slow things down, and then speed up immediately with these 3 flashes sent over the wall. Krimbo, here's frozeN getting tag spots. Dexter transfer, tabseN, however, credited with the kill. BMAS can catch Krimbo off as the reload is forced in by tabseN's party. Rephases, gets torzsi with a double up and a triple for a quadra overall in the round.
I love that maneuver coming through from Big. They just got a really good misread there, or mid-read, I should say. They end up having 3 on B with that AWP playing Cave, and then they force an over-aggressive tiziaN just to hold the bottom of mid. And what that means is he can spot out for any lurk play that's going to come through from elbow, but also be that quick rotate if need be. We saw Krimbo on the first site defensive with that resmoke coming down from Rab, just stalling for time, doing damage, and then even tabseN running through that short smoke found so much success.
Tactical timeout used by MOUZ for the first time. Tuning in that they're on the back foot and not quite as consistently finding the opening advantages or the rounds themselves. To rethink the strategy. What's the major adjustment to make here, though?
I think for MOUZ, they need to put more pressure down on mid, because that round was a prime example of how Big were able to recognize the situation and start stacking up the B side and showing more A presence too. Like, we're going into round 13 and we're still seeing nothing to A.
Again, leaning out towards elbow, and I'm sure that Keto's feeling a little bit lonely at the moment. Certainly the nades aren't feeling lonely. They've done more damage towards MOUZ. tiziaN and CSGO find their opening picks in mid, so they're not lonely themselves. And MOUZ is just like, well, what can we do? We're feeling lonely. We've lost 2 players.
Yeah, when you are at A anchor and you're not getting hit, it can suck sometimes because you feel as if you're not doing a lot. But if the rounds are coming through successfully and you know your B holds are on point, then you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah.
7-5 on the scoreline should be an 8th. And even look at this read for Big. For the first time, they've got 2 on A, and mousesports are coming out of A main.
Yeah, M4 of Keto now finally a chance to shine alongside CSGO's AWP peeking in towards that main position. The Molotov doesn't land towards the temple position. Keto just watching at the edge of the smokes. BMAS leaning forward. torzsi. Bomb on his back, seeing the shoulder bait. CSGO missing the shot, but Keto comes up good to drop that bomb. Anyway, sees the next two, fires away, calls in for backup. They do overwhelm CSGO and Keto, so a man advantage for Big still maintained, but what was a 5v2 to a 3v2 now. Bomb needs to get picked up and planted soon. MOUZ are running out of time, and torzsi with his backstab also in from the donut angle. Frozen, and BMAS get their trades, and now torzsi is forced to clutch it 1v1. Similar story for BMAS. AK versus Galil. torzsi seeing where BMAS is and everything, and will try stall him out. He's forced to use util to cross back to the bomb.
Try and get it planted. Might have to even fake him out, draw the fire out to the open. Time is limited.
torzsi has his crosshairs on, but he doesn't pull the trigger. Little did he know, BMAS thinking he might have played the flank angle. He's going to press forward to that smoke. torzsi at the edge of it will spot the man and connect the headshot. 3k for him to hold down the round for Big.
And you know what's so insane too, is that any of the viewers that watched the Big and Tropic game would have known how many 1v1s they lost on Ancient. That was the killer for them on the first map of the series, was any time it was a 1vx, it was, oh nah, it's always getting clutched by the other side. And that time there for torzsi, it was a slightly odd maneuver of how MOUZ Sports played the 2v3. They went really aggressive rather than just trying to get that bomb down straight away. But he holds his own, plays in and around the smoke, waits for the fight to come to him, and that adds more to the tally.
It adds the half to Big's favour, something they haven't, or the first half at least, something they haven't won over the course of the day so far. So encouraging signs at the moment here. MOUZ, a T-side basis is beginning to come to a close. The force invest that will see the rifles brought in for round 14 on 4 players, but a deagle out for torzsi. BMAS does strike first though, finally punishing the aggression that's coming in towards that A play from Big. They've gone aggressive in main pretty much every single round, just been unchallenged by MOUZ, so they've gotten away with it. The passiveness held by BMAS allows that opening kill.
Well, they at least have some direction being held. Yeah, they lose that first pick out towards A, but you're taking the lane presence. You leave Keto here to keep an eye on elbow and back from the doors position. Right now for Big, they're desperate to try and get a pick back.
Smokes some mollies. Keto swings in, sees JDC, drops him to a 4v4 and backs up out of Cheetah. He knows that there's more T-side players on the way. Inbound from the B doors in particular. Lane controlled by MOUZ here on the reload. Keto baits in Dexter and punishes him for the kill. Well placed with the sound cues. And now MOUZ may get forced into the bomb site here. Nades out against BMAS, tagged up low. Keto close range around the corner, and BMAS will lose HP but get the kill in. Krimbo up to task. Doesn't get anything done. torzsi takes him down.
And more damage is required, and even tabseN is waiting for some counter aggression. It might just come.
Looking forward to torzsi and tabseN looking forward. Burst fire and tabseN gets torzsi. Now 2 players left on MOUZ. And they're going to peek in towards torzsi, who wins 1 fight, not that second. Util set for tabseN. Trying to bait in Frozen, trying to force him around a corner, but the headshot lands. And the round is gained again for Big. Another 1v1 goes their way.
Yeah, and tabseN actually tried to fake flash there, pull the pin to try and get his opponent to swing out wide or at least turn away from it, and end up going in for the slow crouch forward. Give themselves a 9th round, and overall by Keto, he's stepping up big time here on Ancient. And I think if anyone would have seen the series as against Apex, against MOUZ Sports only the other day, he was a top performer. He was really doing well in this bracket so far. Had a bit of a quiet game when it came against Entropic a few hours ago, but right now he's being able to provide the goods.
Fit in for torzsi, catches CSGO, peeking out of the smoke and finding that first and that second kill against torzsi. Suddenly he's awake. He's found 2 all-important frags that sets up the round for MOUZ, not without responsives and not without resistance. Krimbo finding Frozen, at least bringing it back to a single-man advantage, but the trade-off's just not been worth it.
Now, that's an explosive play that we haven't really seen MOUZ Sports bring so far in this first half at all. Notice the sightline too for Keto. He could drop this bomb, Jay.
Yeah, watching with that AUG. torzsi again strikes off the trade of JDC. A triple for the AWP in the round now. Keto has got to turn towards main, hearing those footsteps. Back his turn for the time being, knows that he's out there, but he's so worried about torzsi, he doesn't know when to strike. Counter U-turn in from his CT teammate. Flash is going over, and bMOUZ seen at the edge of the smoke as he escapes back out towards main. You see the lurk from Dexter coming into the B site. They're about to realize it's completely opened up as torzsi catches Keto. Both sites are opened up, and Krimbo still thinks the hit's still A.
It could have been a very good opportunity there of dropping the bomb down from A main, working with the gap in that main smoke, but not to be at all. Doesn't quite get the peek forward, and now for mousesports, like you mentioned, the lurk out from Dexter from Cave opens up that B site completely. They leave at least torzsi with the AWP to kind another frag. He might even get the ace on candles.
Hearing those footsteps, I imagine. Yep, looking in, AWP's locked and ready. Krimbo out towards mid in the open. Slowing it down, there it is. Ace found for torzsi to close out the half on a high note. Big still lead by 3 rounds, but MOUZ trail on the CT side.
To my face, tell me now why you want to wait. Running out of words you wanna say. I've been looking for you, looking for you, looking for you.
Well, not quite a 10-5 half this time for Big, but it is 9-6, so as close as you can get it being behind the marker. Their CT side has managed to win the advantage. Now it's for mousesports a chance to take full control. Have they done enough on this T side is the big question.
It looks promising for MOUZ Sports after what happened towards the tail end of that half, that they can resurge their way back in, but they do need to get things carried off very quickly. And even out towards this mid portion, there's 2 players in Donut for Big to work with.
Taps through from Frozen. Goosh down initially in the pistol basis. torzsi with that opener, but Krimbo with 2 on the turn. JDC also being seen back at the outside of the boxes. And may get forced back into the CT spawn angle. Smoked off, forces forward, and pays for it. Krimbo in with his triple in the round. 2 more CTs and MOUZ fully committing towards that A site. Again, there's a lurk at the T side. Big have CSGO walking into B right now, recognizing there's nobody there. And MOUZ will be a little bit late to the rotate.
It seems to be a Dexter special, allowing that lurk to go over towards a B site, open it up completely, fight aggressively. They've got Sirison to try and cut it off. Even Keto gets involved into the action, and it doesn't come without Krimbo's display. He ends up with a triple of so many high-impact frags, being able to lock off, get those trades out from Donut, sell the fact of that A play, and then just walk into B like a free pass.
Yeah, big stuff coming in from him. Pun intended, it seems. Of course, a big round from Big's Academy call-up. Talked a little bit about how those guys are trying to prove themselves from the Academy teams, and right now, Big have plenty of reason to justify Krimbo's position in this roster. MOUZ forced to the force by Deagles, Kevlar in for round 17. Standard formalities, you would expect this. Big slow things down immensely for the follow-up round.
There was a slight gamble stack early round on B, but that duel from JDC actually spots the bomb, so we could expect some late rotations to try and assist him. Play behind the smoke. He's hearing a lot of these footsteps at least.
Well, it's flying right past him. Doesn't end up taking any damage. They think he might be playing close, but they're spraying under the wrong pre-fire angles. Meanwhile, torzsi back into Temple. Finds tabseN. Keto there with a trade back onto JDC, doing damage to Frozen as well. The MAC-10 Tizian spreads out to close range positions, and finally they do deal with that Deagle. Still CT's forcing forward, and they will not force much further forward than just the entryway towards the site. CSGO and Krimbo combining and overwhelming all.
Yeah, it comes down to a situation, too, of worrying numbers for JDC. The last 3 months, we've seen him play Ancient 7 times, averages a 1.20 rating, Jay. Currently down at 5 kills. And when we know that him and Frozen are normally the impact players, torzsi you could probably throw into the mix there of what we typically see from MOUZ Sports on Ancient. Because keep in mind, 6 wins and 1 loss in the last 3 months. This is a banger map for him.
Yeah, it's been pretty fantastic. Being down at this margin with the T's taking over. Of course, we're still in the pistol and conversion territory, so I'm not counting MOUZ Sports out just yet. But when 12-6 comes in, we will start to approach, or we will be within, at the very least, dangerous territory here. It's vitally important that at least the rifle round goes well for them, for my money.
It's very similar to what happened out on that last map for Entropic when you kind of think about the 12-5, the 13-5. When you start getting in and around that sort of scoreline, it is worrying for the other team. And right here for Big, they're on the leading front. They're not running into the stack at all. This MAC-10, or at least a couple of MAC-10s, might still be able to find some of the frags towards Donut at least.
Bomb will get planted. USPs will spam forward and they'll catch tabseN for it. Dexter with the headshot towards the man. So starts out for MOUZ in this one. Plant again will try and be secured. Tizian's there to cover it off. It does stall the plant for the moment, being CSGO with the flank. Now mows through all. Melts them like butter with the MAC-10. Plenty of cash gained by him and Tizian. All sorts of MAC-10 frags across the big board, and they can take this as a bit more of a bonus round thanks to it. CSGO's on 10k. So he actually opts not to do so. Upgrade to the AWP and there'll be rifles out for all.
Yeah, almost had a slight vision of another anti-eco loss, but not to be. Even though there is 1 kill being found with the spam, it was that backstabbing individual. It was Keto coming through with the MAC-10 behind, in from elbow towards Donut, that made that round as crucial as it was. 12-6 now, starting to think about having the smoke down for Sirison as soon as he gets mollied, try and see if he can catch anyone running over towards the mid portion at all. And actually, those flames don't spread to him. The opening man advantage gets won out by Dexter at B.
Yeah, all-important start for the MOUZ side. A much better start than the basis of the last 3 rounds. CSGO's AWP is going to get caught by torzsi, who once again wins some mid-fights, this time on the CT side of things. CSGO drops and nothing can really try and follow suit. Tizian will try find a trade, try looking with the AWP picked up, but can't see the player. torzsi's backed off.
torzsi has definitely been the best player by far here on Ancient for the MOUZ Sports side, and trying to see if he can get more involved and start being that killer entity that can start entertaining more rounds. Even down towards mid, you could think about the way that tabseN's going to put a smoke down towards A, assist out from the donut entrance.
The AWP that will try and lead the charge here. Flashes over from the T side, well placed to catch Frozen blind. I think JDC caught a bit of that himself, but it will fade before any of the T side players can act. Good bait shot against torzsi and wasn't ready for Krimbo. Frozen can mow down tabseN, but Krimbo gets a double. Once again, trying to be the main entry player. Get the round back together for the big side. Plant will be secured. Open for Donut behind the boxes. And flashes over as Krimbo tries to get the signpost and evades the AWP. Well aware of where he is from now. As Dexter finds the pick in, it's all left to Krimbo now to ace clutch this round in the 1 versus 3. Can he isolate? Can he frag? How long can he wait? Not very long at all. torzsi swings, gets the shot, gets the round for MOUZ.
I think the youngster thought he had more time there. You saw as soon as he started making that jump up to get onto the pit angle, they're already quick. They're already fast on rotate, out from spawn and from that temple position itself. You can see for Big, it's a decent recovery when you think about the stance, that you're getting picked off by the AWP, you're not having an easy time at all, and you end up finding some advantages. You get some trade frags down there over to the A side. It's the bomb plant, though. It's that extra little bit of money to work with, which could make a difference in these next few rounds.
Now we'll find ourselves at 7. The bonus weapons, of course, the buyback from Big, as you would expect. Challenged by the run boost of torzsi, again trying to find mid faces, straight in out towards the lane position. Here's the fire coming in from one player. Frozen sprays through the smoke and gets 2 out towards elbow, I believe. Krimbo and CSGO down to the AWP can strike. tabseN picked up, and torzsi backing up out of the mid position. Smokes can come down, suppress the likes of torzsi, and Akito also so close. Are they ready for torzsi? Yes, they are, but torzsi is 1 step ahead.
That double spam coming through from Frozen so early into the round through that elbow position just makes wonders of that round. And then torzsi, who's quite aggressive in from window, looking down the lane portion, catches off one of those ramp entities, spins around, even deals with Quito. And now for torzsi, what is left to set up? You've got no map control, you've got the bomb on your back. This has been a all-important round by MOUZ Sports.
One which we won't lose any player. torzsi with a triple, up to 22 frags in this map. The top fragger by far and away on his side, and beating out Krimbo by 1. So again, it's the Academy call-ups that stand up bright for both MOUZ and Big. And in the case of torzsi, a clinical element to allowing that round to be as confident as it was for the CTs. For Big, though, not quite as lucky. Economy line's not 100% there for them, so they're going to go for what seems to be an eco. A couple upgrade pistols. Nothing major here for round 21.
Yeah, it seems as if we're getting more, I guess, representation from a side like Hungary and a country like Hungary. Obviously, you've got torzsi here on the MOUZ Sports side. You think back to the RMR, you had Corey playing with Sangl over there. So trying to see if they can branch out, give themselves some more international experience.
Much like Kosovo, it's not exactly like Hungary is a particularly well-known region. I mean, they have always had like teams like Budapest 5, for example.
Yeah, Salamander boys.
Yep. No one really ever able to branch out into the top tier, so it's nice to see torzsi's doing well at the moment. MOUZ doing well in this match thanks to their efforts. Minute to the clock. Dexter just going to wait on the A side. Back behind the temple pillar. Not seeing anyone from the T's. They're being quiet as anything. Got 1 flash to get into the A play. See if these Deagles can overwhelm the rifles here. JDC, first port of call. tabseN trying to close in the backstab. Frozen's ready for it. Dexter follows suit on CSGO. Bomb plant does get denied, and from there the round should fall apart.
Yeah, not really much happening at all. They would have loved a slight timing in which CT spawn of that candle sight line was not being held and try and slip tabseN into a backstab undetected, but it was being watched, and with that bomb being denied, there's not really much more workability when it comes to the site take itself. 9 rounds on the board for MOUZ Sports, trying to slowly get their way more involved in this game, because realistically they had the 3-0 start, they had a couple of individual rounds here or there. This is now the start of at least another streak.
Yeah, MOUZ building into things. 3 rounds in a row for them, of course, off the back of the 3 you mentioned from Big earlier. Chance for the CTs to come into their own. Fast plays in from the T side, though. Might not be ready for this on MOUZ. Nice nade from JDC as they stall in the one position. They take some damage for it. Not as much as it initially seemed there with the boost up from torzsi now. Coming in, seeing the smokes come down towards the back lines of the site. Still footsteps being heard. Frozen's paranoid about some sort of backstab in. It's being covered off by torzsi, though. JDC now jumping up top of the boxes, looking out for torzsi and looking out for the T-side players. They think that he might be up on that boost, and indeed Dexter finds the angle, finds the player, and finds the frag.
You can see what Big are trying to do there. They're going for the A play, but they just get hit by too much counter utility. So leave the lurk, start showing presence elsewhere, but MOUZ read it, and Krimbo at least being able to get a trade back onto Dexter on the site. They might even double pump A now.
They're thinking about it. They're setting up utility as well. It seems like it's going to be a commitment. tabseN swapping places with k1to to get that bomb a little bit deeper into main, so that way Krimbo can start to act and the bomb won't be too far behind him. Bad smoke from MOUZ, big gap to work with, so Big can just walk in. 36 seconds, body block also heard, another boost out towards Plat. They'll try the same strat again. Will JDC be ready for it here? Will it be fool me twice? Apparently not. tabseN caught JDC, checks it, Frozen, follows suit towards k1to, and CSGO is all that remains. 1v3, overwhelmed by torzsi. His AWP does not miss, as MOUZ are up to 10 now.
And that's a massive round for JDC, someone that's been struggling so far in this map, just to come alive with a couple of kills, to set the defense up with Frozen too, and then how quickly that rotate came through. torzsi just flying through from CT spawn to help try and defend out from A, set up that crossfire and allow MOUZ to now get 4 rounds in a row. And for Big, keep an eye on how many bomb plants are coming through, because it's not many, Jay, and you get into a situation, if that's the case, of buy eco, buy eco, buy eco, you're not going to consistently get rifles.
Incendiary sent down ahead of the big position. Nades on. Damage not quite as much as that HE from BMAS initially indicated. CSGO can trade him off the back of tabseN's death, so a 4-on-4. And Dexter comes in against k1to bring it to a 4v3. Favor MOUZ.
Yeah, even Frozen catching off that mid lurk, so nothing that torzsi can do to try and back up and defend. And torzsi getting smoked off. He does have a teammate close towards that smoke.
Oh, denial through the smoke from Dexter. Comes in pretty good against CSGO. Krimbo with 1 trade. Those 2 casualties will be it, however, for the Big side. MOUZ will win up to 11. That's 5 in a row for this CT side now, and building back into a single round difference between them and Big. And they've gun buy as well for the Big side, exhausting all their savings, exhausting their entire bank account. Yes, they'll have max loss bonus, but if they don't get a bomb plant in the next round, MOUZ could be on to take the lead.
They definitely could do. And just knowing that they're starting to farm with the confidence now, a lot of these rounds being quite convincing, you try to keep as many of those AKs alive in the last few as possible. They're going to have 1 to go forward into round 24. And Big, maybe have to rely on a playmaker. Would it be Krimbo, maybe the AWP, or even a cyrusON to make something happen?
I mean, Krimbo has been the man to do all the work here, it seems like, for Big. You might be looking at him first and foremost. Mentioned how CSGO's AWPing potential not quite as fantastic in that last series as it possibly could have been, or possibly should have been. And here right now you can compare his numbers towards torzsi, so I don't look towards him as being the guy to make the plays. Maybe to shut down torzsi on a good duel and find the right angle at the right time. Right now, they're not even getting a look in. On the opposite side of the map, it seems that the default's out towards Cave, not yielding any frags. They storm out this donut position. Is JDC with the pick onto Krimbo, keeping himself tucked away and into harder cover. Not aware that torzsi is so close. torzsi is about to discover it the hard way, though. Missed shot. JDC falls. torzsi looking for the trade back as tabseN comes up with a kill back to a man advantage. Only temporary, though, as torzsi makes it a double. Not quite able to turn the triple. tabseN trades, and onto the A site go Big.
Oh, rotations in quickly, though. Dexter could swing out, try to deny the bomb, but the NWP catches him in the open, and now BMAS spawns the last one left.
M4 versus 2. tabseN not going to extend. Gap in that smoke. There could be an angle of attack for BMAS, but it's being watched here. tabseN, AK set and ready. But looking away for now. BMAS sees the man, does his damage, but doesn't get the kill.
Oh, mate, what a hold that was, too, from JDC and the AWP torzsi. You thought it was going to be enough, the way that they're able to waste for so much time, the impact that those two find, but it's the continuation pressure on the bomb site, and especially tabseN, that makes that round really come through in favor of Big. 13-11 now. You're getting into a portion where, yeah, MOUZ have still got money. There's not a lot left of it in the reserve.
The damage has compounded for Big. And much like how in the last round the economy state could have been thrown off had Big lost it, in the same story for MOUZ right here. With Big closing in on a map win, it would be disastrous for MOUZ to lose out Ancient like this. AWP baited first and foremost with tabseN's jump face. Not ready for Frozen though, all the way up towards top mid. Blind fire through the smoke again, comes up with a double. k1to trades it, looks for the third, but torzsi trades, makes it a 3-for-1 responsive. 3-for-2 is CSGO, comes up good with an AWP responsive. And now waits for BMAS here in the cheetah angle, the M4, expecting more. And eventually will get given it.
It gets very wacky, very wild in that start. Both teams just brute forcing duels out from the mid portion, and it was mousesports that came out on top. And Krimbo going to try and see if he can sneak his way forward, but he gets caught on a timing from JDC, the A player, to wrap back into spawn, allowed mousesports to find their 12th, and it just felt as if that pressure down to the bottom of mid with that M4ONS and torzsi playing in candles was a factor that Big just couldn't deal with.
The streak may have ended, but the comeback is still on for MOUZ, back within one. A tactical taken by Big, their second in this map up, appropriate to do so. That was their 4th round in the previous one. Chance to get 5 right there, but just overwhelmed by MOUZ. And MOUZ are back in it. This is not impossible.
No, not at all. And just knowing the fact that the last matchup, it was there were some oddities. Again, the veto was very unfamiliar territory. We saw the Big never pick overpass, but yet they picked into it to try and be a punish, and then it kind of went the other way. And then the other maps that we saw in the series of the likes of Nuke and Vertigo were kind of one-sided, not very competitive at all. And this time around, we're getting into some territory in which mousesports are very comfortable on this map. And while it was a slow start in the first half, they're bringing it back. And knowing, too, that Big got off to the pistol start. When it comes to the rifle rounds, Jay, there hadn't been many of them that have been won.
With these pistols pulled in for Big, it feels unlikely that they'll find much of anything. Tactical's a bit more careful off the back of this round. Flashbangs in. BMAS will check cheetah, see nothing. Smokes out as k1to will fire back. Bit of a blind shot, a pre-fire angle. Ultimately not getting anything for it, just information given up to MOUZ.
That could be a split A play here. Try and get that bomb to put some pressure down on towards that donut position. The rest of the players in from candles. Dexter going to re-smoke and a lot of counter utility behind it.
M4 backing up, seeing the shots ringing out. Flashbangs in. Dexter trying to turn away. Frozen gets those 2 picks in. Dexter with one of his own. Frozen with a triple up. And k1to will get JDC at least on the A bomb site. But having lost the bomb in CT spawn, it means that there's nothing left for him, especially up against Dexter with the burst fire of the M4. 13 apiece. After a very long and arduous battle, MOUZ have finally equalized against Big.
What a reposition that was too from Dexter. He gets caught completely blinded and is able just to get into the corner of spawn, allow Frozen to be the guy to help him out. And while I think he had a very good start in the first half, he had been quite slow for the middle portion of this map. But these last 4 or 5 rounds, Frozen started to get really involved when it comes to the kill numbers.
It's coming together as a result. Or AWP boost for torzsi, looking over towards lane. Is the AWP ready for it? I think CSGO's watching that position, and indeed, he gets that kill. Smart preemptive strike from Big with the M4 of Dexter ahead of the ramp control, can get tabseN to trade, so it's a man advantage that doesn't last long, and they can't find a response either. Dexter gets out of there.
Saracen trying to get the NWP forward. The flash actually doesn't really blind them off at all, and instead they can continue the approach into B.
Oh, but BMAS sees that gun barrel, trying to get the trade. Eventually he's able to do so with Frozen's kill on torzsi, and is a 3v2 for MOUZ, and another flash coming in from Frozen that is successful, enabling BMAS to double up and leaving Krimbo in a 1 versus 3. Bomb on his back, JDC in lane. Krimbo has absolutely no idea, domed in the side of the head, and MOUZ take the lead for the first time since, I think, the 7th round of the last half.
And what's so insane is that MOUZ have won about 8 out of the past 9 rounds. Really, it's been all on them. All with that momentum to bring it back, not allow a lot of bomb plants, not keep the rounds competitive. And for Big, you have to remember, this was a 12-6 scoreline once upon a time, Jay.
Yeah, Big were in full control. But alas, this CT comeback for MOUZ has really grinded their way into this position. Big scoring 1 round outside of the pistol and conversions in this half as torzsi once again puts his AWP to a kill. Tizian down. 28th frag as well for torzsi in this map. Against the eco pistols, not unlikely that he gets the 30 bomb, especially if they feed themselves to him on the A site.
Another one of those missed smokes out towards A main. This time around, though, they do punish with it. JDC working on the left-hand side. The bomb gets dropped down to the open. They know that Krimbo's playing out there from main, and eventually Frozen on rotate and spawn is going to be able to assist out. So upgraded pistols can get recollected. 15 on the board for MOUZ, and for Big, you just wonder, is there any fuel left in the tank, or is this map already over?
I mean, right now, the telegraphing is looking towards the latter. $13 to $15. The gun's coming in for Big. If they have got anything left in the tank, it's going to be proven right here in this round because they kind of need it. 1 more round for MOUZ to secure map 1. Secure their own map pick. The shots out from CSGO and landing on torzsi. That's a good start, but they're not aware of BMAS being so close, and tabseN will get picked up for it. Sprays through the AK. BMAS using the edge of the smoke to get a double up and looking around for even more. Keto might be in trouble, as might CSGO. Bracketed in from sight and lane. The bomb could get picked up. The AWP leaning in. Got to hit a quick scope and gets the no scope instead. So 3-on-3 as Dexter responds through the wood wall. 3-on-2.
And now with the time stalling, it actually allows JDC to make the play, to start the huge backstab towards that T-spawn area. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of nades on the site directly to try and stall any further in the likes of a smoke or an incendiary, but just the time stalling allows them to keep 2 on B and to allow JDC to be the lurker to catch the info.
50 seconds to the clock, and JDC is going to sit back here at Tetris. Frozen with the M4, looks out from long, eyes on short as well. Sees Krimbo, sprays him in the back, leaving it all on Keto now to try clutch this for Big. Sees the man and loses the fight anyway. It's Frozen with a double and a hell of a comeback for MOUZ. 16-13, taking their own map pick of Angel, and it was really all on the CT side for them.
Yeah, normally, Jay, I'd be getting really excited, go, come on, massive comeback. But was it really? I mean, the scoreline was, but it wasn't that competitive in the second half. As soon as we came away...